What if I told you that most people today aren't defeated by the world, but by themselves? Not because they lack talent, but because they've grown comfortable being weak. We scroll, we compare, we envy, we call it connection, but it's quiet decay. We chase comfort, yet wake up empty. We avoid pain, yet suffer daily. The truth? Comfort is a slow poison, and discipline is the antidote. The ancient Stoics knew this long before smartphones, dopamine, or motivational quotes. Marcus Aurelius, philosopher and emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just a quote, it's a weapon. A mindset forged in chaos, built for fire. Stoicism doesn't promise an easy life, it gives you an unbreakable one. In this journey, we'll uncover 10 brutal Stoic laws, mental weapons that will harden your mind, sharpen your emotions, and awaken your soul. This isn't inspirational fluff. It's raw truth, tested in blood, still relevant now. Before we begin, don't just sit back and listen. This isn't background noise, it's a call to rise. If you're serious about growth, stay present, don't skip ahead. Even one missed law could cost you clarity when you need it most. Let's begin. Law 1. Embrace discomfort like a friend. We've been trained to run from pain, but the Stoics taught the opposite. Run toward it, eyes open. Think about your greatest growth moments. Did they happen when life was easy? Or when you were tired, heartbroken, betrayed, and had to decide, rise or break? Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayal, disease, and still ruled with calm. He didn't fear discomfort. He welcomed it. He let it shape him. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That isn't poetry, that's law. Every obstacle is a test. Every delay, a lesson in patience. Every rejection, a teacher in disguise. Modern life whispers, avoid pain. But Stoicism answers back, train for it. That cold shower, a test. That hard conversation, a path. That workout when your body screams, no. That's where your spirit grows teeth. Seneca, another Stoic giant, practiced sleeping on the floor, eating rough bread, wearing simple clothes. Not from self-hatred, but preparation. He knew, when life strips away your comfort, you'll either panic or perform. He chose preparation. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your mirror. It reveals who you are and who you're becoming. Avoid small pain today, and you'll meet bigger pain tomorrow. But if you step into the fire willingly, you stop fearing the flames. From now on, see discomfort as a sparring partner. It might bruise you, but it's building you. Repeat this to yourself. Discomfort is my training ground. Law 2. Master your emotions or be ruled by them. How often does your mood control your day? Someone insults you, and your peace collapses. A plan fails, and your motivation disappears. You feel lazy, so you skip the work that matters. You think you're in control, but you're not. Epictetus, once a slave, became a Stoic teacher. He said, "Anyone capable of angering you becomes your master." Let that sink in. Every time you react without reason, you hand your power away. That driver who cut you off owns you. That breakup owns you. That online troll owns you. Stoicism doesn't mean ignoring emotions. It means mastering them. You can feel deeply, but still act wisely. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel anger, but choose calm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke." That is the ultimate human freedom, the ability to feel everything and still decide how to respond. The Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. He studies it, he breathes through it, he acts instead of reacts. It's not coldness, it's command. When you stop being owned by your emotions, you become a pillar in chaos. People notice, they trust you, they follow you. Because in a world ruled by reaction, calmness is magnetic. Law 3. Stop expecting fairness. You work hard, someone lazy wins. You love deeply, they walk away. You do right and still get punished. And then you whisper, "This isn't fair." But fairness is not a law of nature. It's a dream we invented. Marcus Aurelius, ruler of Rome, faced injustice daily. But he didn't waste energy complaining. He used it to build resilience. The Stoics expected betrayal, loss, and pain, so they were never surprised. When you expect fairness, you stay fragile. When you expect hardship, you become powerful. Fairness is a lovely idea, but it can make you weak. Because what you really mean when you say, "This isn't fair," is, "I don't like this, and I don't want to face it." But strength is built by facing it anyway. Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Bad things happen to good people. Evil people sometimes win. That's not pessimism, that's life." But here's the difference. The average person waits for fairness. The Stoic prepares for reality. He builds power so strong that injustice can't touch his peace. Stop waiting for the world to treat you kindly. Start treating yourself powerfully. Life isn't fair, but it's full of opportunity. And every unfair blow is fuel for those who keep moving forward. Law 4. Focus on what you can control. Release what you can't. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Most people do the opposite. They obsess over what they can't control: other people, outcomes, luck, and neglect the one thing they can: their own mind. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you prepare. You can't control the economy, but you can control your discipline, your learning, your response. You can't control others' opinions, but you can control your integrity. That shift is liberation. Imagine a storm at sea. The fool screams at the wind. The Stoic grabs the wheel and steers. Every time you feel anxious, ask, "Is this within my control?" If yes, act. If no, release. Simple, not easy. But that simplicity is power. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the Stoic code. Focus inward, act outward, release the rest. When you live this way, you move through chaos untouched, calm, clear, unshakable. Law 5. Train harder than life requires. In a world addicted to comfort, discipline becomes a superpower. Most people wait for life to challenge them. The Stoic does the opposite. He challenges himself first. Not to suffer, but to strengthen. Not to punish, but to prepare. Seneca once wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" He called it voluntary hardship, choosing difficulty on purpose to stay sharp when the world grows soft. Because the truth is simple. When comfort becomes a habit, weakness becomes a lifestyle. Most people have never faced hunger, never faced silence, never faced boredom without reaching for a screen. So when real hardship comes, when they lose the job, the relationship, the health, they collapse. The Stoic has already practiced. He's trained hunger, solitude, rejection, fatigue. He's forged a will that doesn't crack, You don't build strength by talking about it, you build it by doing what you don't want to do. Fasting for a day to master appetite. Taking cold showers to master comfort. Saying no to luxury to master desire. Training early, working late, choosing hard when easy is available. Each small challenge becomes armor. The modern world breeds softness. Stoicism breeds steel. So the next time your mind says, skip it, smile. You've found your next test. Because a life without challenge is a life without growth. And a mind without resistance is a mind that rots. Choose your hardships now, or life will choose them for you later. Law 6. Detach from the outcome, fall in love with the process. We've been taught to obsess over results, to chase the win, the number, the validation. But the Stoic flips the script. Detach from the result, master the process, because the outcome is never guaranteed, but your effort always is. Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you chase the result, you suffer twice, once if you fail, and again if you succeed, but still feel empty. You lift weights for a week and don't see abs, you quit. You post your art and it doesn't go viral, you quit. You try love once and get hurt, you close off forever. But when you fall in love with the craft, not the credit, something changes. The gym becomes meditation, the work becomes devotion, the journey becomes the reward. Marcus Aurelius wrote, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Meaning, stop living in tomorrow. Show up fully in today. If you write, write for truth, not likes. If you train, train for mastery, not praise. If you build, build for pride in your effort, not the applause. The moment you tie your worth to outcomes, you become fragile. The moment you tie it to effort, you become unstoppable. Detach from the scoreboard. Fall in love with the game. That's how Stoics live free, focused, fulfilled. Law 7. Remember you will die. Most people live as if they'll live forever. They delay dreams. They waste days. They say, someday, and someday never comes. The Stoics meditated on death not to be dark, but to awaken. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. That isn't morbid, that's clarity. It means your time is limited, painfully limited, and that's exactly what makes it precious. Seneca said, it's not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it. We scroll for hours, argue over nothing, hold grudges that poison us. We wait for courage, for perfect timing, for permission. But the Stoic knows, death is not a tragedy, wasted life is. Memento mori, remember death. Say it until it sinks in. Because when you remember you're mortal, you stop pretending, you stop delaying, you start living. The risk you keep avoiding, take it. The person you need to forgive, forgive them. The dream you keep burying, bring it to life. Every breath is a gift from time itself. Don't waste it numbing yourself. Don't waste it on distractions. The Stoic wakes up with fire because he knows the clock is running. Death isn't a curse, it's a compass. It points you to what truly matters. Live urgently, love deeply, speak truthfully, work purposefully. Because one day, the breath you're taking right now will be your last. And when that moment comes, the Stoic smiles because he lived. Law 8. Live for virtue, not approval. Let's be honest, most people live for applause. They move for likes, validation, attention. But the Stoic doesn't perform for the crowd, he performs for his conscience. Marcus Aurelius said, Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. That's the law. Do what's right, even if no one notices. Speak truth, even if no one claps. Keep your word, even when it costs you. Train hard, even when nobody's watching. That's virtue. That's strength that can't be bought. Because in a world of illusion, integrity is rebellion. The path of virtue is rarely comfortable. It's easier to lie than to tell the truth. Easier to impress than to be authentic. Easier to follow than to stand alone. But every time you choose what's right over what's easy, you sharpen your edge. You build an identity no one can take from you. Seneca once said, "I will govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other." That's power. In a world obsessed with image, the Stoic chooses reality. In a world of noise, he chooses silence. In a world of vanity, he chooses virtue. And the irony? When you stop chasing validation, people respect you more. When you stop needing approval, you become magnetic. Because the one who doesn't need the crowd is the one the crowd ends up following. Live so that, even stripped of money, fame, or followers, you'd still stand proud. That's Stoic leadership, grounded, unseen, unshakable. Law 9. Seek stillness over noise. The modern world screams. Notifications, arguments, opinions, distractions. Every second, a new demand for your attention. But stillness, that's where power lives. Epictetus taught that silence isn't emptiness, it's control. It's the space between impulse and wisdom. Most people drown in noise because silence terrifies them. They can't be alone with their thoughts. They can't face their own mind without a screen to hide behind. But the Stoic seeks stillness like a warrior seeks breath. He understands calm is not weakness, it's command. Marcus Aurelius wrote entire books, meditations not for others, but to discipline his own mind. In the middle of war, he wrote quietly, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful than your own soul." That's not philosophy, that's survival. In stillness, you hear what matters. You notice the noise for what it is, chaos you don't need to join. Try this. Each day, 10 minutes of silence. No phone, no music, no distraction, just breathe. Observe your thoughts like clouds passing by. At first, it'll be uncomfortable. Your mind will scream for stimulation. But wait. On the other side of that discomfort lies clarity. The kind of clarity you can't buy, can't fake, can't rush. Stillness is strength because it makes you unreactive. It gives you choice. It gives you presence. And in a world addicted to noise, the calm one becomes a fortress. Law 10. Practice gratitude. Like a warrior, power, discipline, and wisdom mean nothing if they're not grounded in gratitude. Gratitude is not softness, it's sight. It's the ability to see clearly even when life is brutal. Seneca said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." And that gratitude is not about comfort. It's about awareness. The Stoic wakes each morning and says, "I'm alive, I have breath, I have one more chance to serve, to love, to learn." Even in loss, he says, "I was blessed to have something worth missing." Even in pain, I am being refined, not destroyed. Gratitude doesn't deny suffering, it transforms it. It takes the same pain that breaks others and turns it into fuel. Because when you stop focusing on what's missing, you start seeing how much remains. Gratitude sharpens perspective. It brings dignity to hardship. It reminds you that life, even at its worst, is still a gift. So, be grateful fiercely, not softly, not politely, fiercely. Grateful for the obstacles that shaped you, grateful for the lessons that hurt you, grateful for the time you still have, because one day that time will run out. And the last words of the Stoic will not be fear, but thanks. The world will not wait for you. It moves, with or without your permission. So if you've come this far, if you've listened to every word, it means something inside you is waking up. Maybe you're tired of running. Maybe you're done with weakness dressed up as comfort. Maybe you're ready to become something steadier, something real. The 10 Stoic laws are not ideas to admire. They are tools to use. They exist for the moments when your mind is chaos and your heart is shaking. When you lose what you love, when you fail in public, when everything that made sense suddenly collapses, that's when they become alive. Because Stoicism is not philosophy written on paper, it's philosophy written on your skin. It's the quiet voice that says, "Stand up again." It's the breath you take before you decide not to give up. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but the empire he truly conquered was himself. Seneca had wealth, but practiced poverty, so it could never own him. Epictetus was born in chains, yet walked free in his mind long before his body was released. They weren't superheroes. They were human, scared, flawed, uncertain, just like you, just like me. And they left a map, a way through the storm. 10 simple directions that will not make life easier, but will make you unbreakable inside it. Embrace discomfort, master emotion, let go of control, stop expecting fairness. Train harder than life demands, detach from the result, remember death, live for virtue, seek stillness, practice gratitude. 10 laws. 1. Purpose. Freedom, not the kind the world gives, the kind it can't take away. So, tomorrow, when the alarm rings and your body begs to stay in bed, remember this moment. When someone disrespects you and your anger rises, remember this calm. When life feels unfair and everything you built starts to fall apart, remember what you've trained for. Because you have been building something far stronger than comfort. You've been building yourself. The Stoic doesn't hope for an easy day. He hopes for the strength to face a hard one. He doesn't chase control of the world. He masters control of his mind. That is where all freedom begins. So, take a breath, stand up straight, look the day in the eye. You don't need applause. You don't need perfect timing. You don't even need to believe in yourself all the time. You just need to act. Do the next right thing. Speak the truth. Keep your word. Show up again tomorrow. That's how warriors are made, one quiet act of courage at a time. Say it once, slowly, like a vow. I am becoming unshakable, day by day, moment by moment, trial by trial. And when life tests me again, I will not crumble. I will not retreat. I will remember who I am becoming, unshakable, calm, free. This is the Stoic path. It doesn't end here. It begins.